Well, hello, friends on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. This is your friend Cody, host of the Pillars of Freedom podcast and the 5 Day Entrepreneur Incubator Challenge. And I say Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram because, as you guys know, I've been going live with you every single day or almost every single day. Some days it's an attempt to be consistent, and some days it's an attempt to just get online. And I'm bringing this tonight because, and I say all that because I am recording this simultaneously on Facebook, YouTube, and I'm going to upload the recording to Instagram because I've been going on Facebook first and then getting on YouTube and then going on Instagram and wondering why is it already 9:30 by the time I get done with this stuff. And even though it's only 9 o'clock now, it feels like it's at least 10:30 because today has been a crazy long day and tomorrow is going to be a long day also. I just know it. So, with that being said, let's get into tonight's topic on the continuation of this live series where I go live with you every single day to add value to you guys in your journey to help you grow, enjoy yourself, and make progress in whatever your endeavors are, especially if you're starting a business. And then to also document my journey. How many of you guys go back, whether it's on Facebook or whatever, and you see memories, things that happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever that looks like, and you look back and you're like, wow, I've grown quite a bit, or at least I hope so. And that's the same here. I'm documenting this journey to see, one, how I grow, and two, to let you guys in on what is often a very lonely journey as you get started in business. And if you're in those shoes too, I want to encourage you that this series is for you, so that way you can get a boost during your day, during your journey, whatever challenges you're facing. You can continue to win by at least seeing someone else who's going and doing the same thing. And tonight's episode is called "Get Into Momentum," or learn to get into momentum, because in my now second attempt at building business, I noticed key patterns. And one of those patterns is every time I set a goal, I am immediately tested, as if the universe is saying, did you really mean it? And what that looks like is like if I have, a goal of being consistent, I'm immediately tested in being consistent. And as many of you guys have seen, I have consistently failed, right? But here I've been posting live almost every single day. And that being said, I'm being tested now with greater challenges where I overcome the first hurdle. Of like, okay, if I can be, generally consistent and then, consistent, overall, then the next layer of challenge comes on, really the next test. And whatever it looks like, usually it looks like if you're making actual progress in whatever you're doing, it seems like the rest of your world is starting to cave in. That's when you know you're really on the right track. And tonight's episode is about staying on that track, gaining momentum, where you can continue to break through barriers, glass ceilings, if you will, of things that have been consistently holding you back. And what breaks through glass ceilings are momentum, and not just momentum in a process, but momentum in becoming a better version of yourself. As I like to put it in the Entrepreneur Incubator Challenge, the champion version of yourself. That's how you break through those glass ceilings, guys. And for me, what that looks like oftentimes is stacking small wins. Like, I know if I can stay consistent, for example, for 3 days, then I already have an internal sense of, momentum that allows me to continue to carry on when other difficulties begin piling up, right? So, for example, today I started my day at 5:30 a.m. and got to work in a new job by 7. And I enjoy working there for one of the reasons that as soon as you get your 8 hours in, you can leave. And so I left today at 3:30, but from 3:30 to 6:30 it was really juggling, making dinner, which had its own hassles, plus editing and refining a podcast episode to launch, which I'll be dropping immediately after this. It's with my friend Claudia, and she talks about her story of like she had this quote unquote American dream, of working for corporate and in the music industry, and she realized it turned into a nightmare. And so she decided at a crossroads to start her own business, and in a year and a half has done incredibly well. So I'll be dropping her episode right after this. You can find that on the Pillars of Freedom podcast, and you'll see podcast gems from that episode dripping out throughout this week, the next week, etc. But whether it was today fighting, dinner hassles, coming back, finding technical issues with the podcast episode, whether it's audio, video, you name it, and then managing basically the tiredness, the exhaustion of working a full day at the shop, standing on my feet, coming back here, doing a lot of mental energy, expending a lot of mental energy getting this up. You can imagine, and please don't take this as complaining. You can imagine these things stack up, and for me, I'm fortunate where being single, no kids, and very few responsibilities, I'm able to focus on these things with a level of tenacity that I know a lot of other people can't, simply because they have the people depending on them, children to feed, a spouse to spend quality time with, stuff like that. I realize that I'm in a very unique situation. And I know that there are some of you out there right now who are in a similar situation wondering, how do I break through those things? And it's by getting into momentum, guys. It's by really setting out that goal, knowing that you're going to be tested and being aggressive in breaking through that, and then consistently breaking through the next one by being aggressive. This is the framework I want to give for you guys. One of my favorite books is this book right here. It's called Extreme Ownership by two former Navy SEALs, Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. And if you guys haven't heard of the book or of Jocko's podcast, they are amazing. If you guys are, especially if you're into any kind of, military discipline, or leadership discipline or leadership studies, amazing guys to listen to. And you can find Jocko's podcast at Jocko Podcast, and you can find the book on Amazon. I'm not even promoting it that much, but just know that one of the frameworks in that book that I love so much is this idea of being default aggressive, default aggressive in accomplishing the mission. And for me, that mission right now is staying consistent in my lives, in dripping content throughout the daily throughout the week, and then getting all the other plates spinning, whether it's my side hustle business with getting licensed through the state and then the county, and then building out the traffic, and then building out the funnel, and all of that mess, and all the while still managing a podcast and daily life and all of that. So being default aggressive for me looks one way. It's going to look different for you guys, no matter what your journey is. But by being default aggressive in getting your work done starts with being enthusiastic from the moment you wake up. I noticed that um, just like Jocko and Leif mentioned in this book, in fact, on one of the last chapters of personal discipline, how I wake up, how I start the day, literally in the first few seconds, if not the first, minute or so, actually sets the tone for the day. And I speak it every day, twice a day. In my affirmations, I launch out of bed. I turn off my alarm. I do 20 jumping jacks. I do not let sleep. I do not go back to sleep. I do not let comfort win. I launch out of bed, and I basically I get into my day, and I start it with high energy. And I notice that if I start my day with high energy launch out of bed, literally don't even think about it, just launch out of bed. And then, getting into some kind of physical exercise, and then letting that, continue to build on itself by being, quick to, do my morning routine without rushing it, being quick to get into, my job and get doing the work I need to do there, and being quick, to come home, get started on the tasks. I don't give myself the luxury of calming down, becoming comfortable, and then growing complacent. And that's why I'm recording this at 9 p.m. When I could have recorded it earlier, um, and then posted it live, quote unquote live or whatever. Instagram, I'm sorry, you're totally left out of this. This might be a new thing as I learn how to really compress my time and maximize, the different platforms I have available to me. But finding ways where it's like, okay, how can I set the tone for the day, being default aggressive, and then continuing to let that build throughout the day, and then day after day letting that build momentum, so you guys can see that being default aggressive from minute one, and then into every task, and then leading into every day, and then leading into every week. You can see you're actually starting to build a larger picture of what it looks like to be in momentum, and then break through those barriers consistently. So just know that when you set a goal, you're going to be challenged. You will be tested on that, as if the universe is asking you, did you really mean it? By being default aggressive and learning to get into momentum, you'll get there. And for me, I know right now, even though I'm exhausted, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be recording this. I'd rather be sleeping, whatever that looks like. I'm still here. I'm still winning because I have this internal momentum building and my confidence is literally soaring. And I hope yours is too. And I love, 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 love to see as you continue to apply these principles and concepts in your life. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to engage with you and really explore your journey, because here's the thing, guys. Like, I love, especially with my podcast, giving people a platform to stand on to share their message. And if you're winning in your life, especially in your pursuit of lifestyle freedom, unlocking the 3 pillars of lifestyle freedom: freedom of time, income, and location, the real wealth of the 21st century, I'd love to hear your story and possibly give you a platform, a space on my podcast to share your message. So this has been your friend Cody, host of the Pillars of Freedom podcast and the 5-day Entrepreneur Incubator Challenge, where we dive into more concepts like this, highly applicable, directly implementing your life, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations into your business, your life, and then your ultimate lifestyle freedom. So I look forward to catching up with you guys tomorrow as we go live here on Facebook, YouTube, and then probably,
Please charge now.
pardon the speaker, and then probably Instagram might just be uploaded for now, since this is killing multiple birds with one stone. Anyway, we'll catch you guys tomorrow on the next live in this series where I add value and document the journey. We'll see you tomorrow.